Have you ever wondered if you're the only conscious being in the universe? If the world around you is merely a figment of your imagination? If reality itself is nothing more than a simulation? These are the questions that lie at the heart of solipsism, a philosophical concept that has captivated minds for centuries. In this video, we'll delve into the world of solipsism, exploring its origins, arguments, counterarguments, and implications. Defining solipsism. Solipsism is the idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist. As an epistemological and ontological position, solipsism holds that knowledge of anything outside one's own mind is unsure. The external world and other minds cannot be known and might not exist outside the mind. The term solipsism was coined in the 17th century by the German philosopher Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, but the concept itself has roots in ancient Greek philosophy. Skepticism, the questioning of the possibility of knowledge, played a significant role in the development of solipsism. Arguments for solipsism. At the heart of solipsism lies a series of compelling arguments that challenge our perception of reality. These arguments, while seemingly paradoxical, have intrigued and perplexed philosophers for centuries. The problem of other minds. One of the most fundamental arguments for solipsism is the problem of other minds. How can we be certain that other people have minds and experiences similar to our own? We can only directly experience our own thoughts and feelings. The thoughts and feelings of others are inferred based on their behavior and expressions, but these outward signs are open to interpretation. Consider a person smiling. Does their smile genuinely reflect happiness, or are they masking underlying sadness? Without direct access to their thoughts, we can never be sure. This epistemological dilemma suggests that the existence of other minds is ultimately unknowable. The malleability of perceptions. Solipsism also highlights the malleability of our perceptions. Our senses can deceive us, and our memories are not always reliable. We are constantly bombarded with information from our surroundings, and our brains are constantly filtering, interpreting, and constructing our perception of reality. Consider the optical illusion known as the Ames room. In this illusion, two people standing in a distorted room appear to be different heights, even though they are actually the same height. This demonstrates how our perception can be manipulated by the environment. Similarly, our memories are susceptible to distortion and error. We may remember events differently over time, or we may even create false memories altogether. This suggests that our perception of reality may not be an accurate reflection of objective truth. The nature of consciousness. Solipsism ultimately raises questions about the nature of consciousness. If consciousness is simply a product of the physical brain, is it possible for other entities, such as machines or even animals, to possess consciousness? Or is consciousness a unique and exclusive property of human minds? Consider the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence. As AI continues to evolve, it may become increasingly difficult to distinguish between human and machine consciousness. This raises the question of whether consciousness is a purely biological phenomenon or if it can exist in other forms. These arguments for solipsism, while challenging to refute, do not provide definitive proof of solipsism. However, they do highlight the subjective nature of our experiences and the limitations of our knowledge. Counterarguments to solipsism. Despite the compelling arguments presented in favor of solipsism, there are also strong counterarguments that challenge its validity. These counterarguments, rooted in logic, science, and human experience, cast doubt on the solipsistic worldview. The argument from consensus. One of the most significant counterarguments to solipsism is the argument from consensus. The vast majority of humans share a common understanding of reality. We experience similar emotions, recognize similar patterns, and respond to similar stimuli. This widespread consensus suggests that there is an objective reality that exists outside of our individual minds. Imagine a group of people standing in a field. They all look up at the sky and see the same sun, the same clouds, the same birds soaring above. This shared experience of the external world strongly suggests that the sun, clouds, and birds exist independently of any one individual's mind. The concept of intersubjectivity. Solipsism faces further challenges when confronted with the concept of intersubjectivity. Our experiences are not isolated. They are constantly shaped and influenced by our interactions with others. We share our thoughts, feelings, and experiences through language, gestures, and actions. These shared experiences strengthen the case for an objective reality that exists beyond our individual minds. Consider the act of communication. When you speak to someone, you are not simply transmitting thoughts from your mind to theirs. Instead, you are engaging in a shared experience of meaning, and understanding. This shared experience suggests that there is a common reality that we can all access and interpret. The laws of physics and the nature of the universe. Solipsism also faces difficulties when confronted with the laws of physics and the nature of the universe. The universe appears to be governed by consistent and predictable laws that apply to all matter and energy. These laws seem to indicate the existence of an objective reality that exists independently of our minds. Consider the law of gravity. It applies to all objects, regardless of whether or not anyone is observing them. This suggests that gravity is not simply a product of our perception, but rather a fundamental force that governs the universe. While solipsism presents intriguing arguments, it is ultimately challenged by the evidence of shared human experiences, the concept of intersubjectivity, and the laws of physics that govern the universe. These counterarguments suggest that there is an objective reality that exists beyond our individual minds, a reality that we all share and experience in common. The ethical implications of solipsism. Solipsism, the philosophical idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist, raises profound ethical questions. If we are the sole conscious beings in the universe, our actions carry immense weight, shaping the entire universe's moral landscape. In a solipsistic world, ethical principles become subjective, based solely on individual preferences. The concept of harm loses its universal meaning as there are no other conscious beings to experience it. Morality becomes a self-serving construct, devoid of external constraints. However, solipsism could also lead to heightened moral responsibility. If we are the universe's sole conscious beings, every action becomes intrinsically meaningful, making us guardians of its well-being. Solipsism's ethical implications remain debated. Solipsism, the idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist, is a perplexing and fascinating philosophical concept that has captivated thinkers for centuries. While it presents compelling arguments that challenge our perception of reality, it is ultimately countered by the evidence of shared human experiences, the concept of intersubjectivity, and the laws of physics. The ethical implications of solipsism are equally complex, raising questions about morality, responsibility, and the very concept of harm. While it could lead to moral relativism and nihilism, it could also paradoxically foster a heightened sense of moral responsibility. Solipsism, whether true or not, serves as a powerful reminder of the limitations of our knowledge and the endless possibilities that lie beyond our perception. In a recent video, we discussed how stoical media is reducing your IQ and AMP. Before your IQ goes in negatives, click here.